on behalf of Eastern Illinois University, President Terry, and our entire campus community, welcome. I know many of you are students are here in that capacity, but I also recognize many members of our surrounding community. I want to thank Dr. Chen and the Eastern Public Policy Institute and the Department of Political Science for co-hosting tonight's panel discussion on gun control, a topic on which there are plenty of thoughts, I'm sure, in this room as well as throughout our country, and we will get a range of perspectives on that topic tonight. So again, welcome. I'm delighted you are here. I look forward to an informative evening. And I'm going to turn it over immediately to Professor Kevin Anderson with the Department of Political Science, who will serve as the host and moderator tonight. Kevin?
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our forum. Before we begin, I would like to take a couple of moments here. First, I want to acknowledge and say thanks to Professor Ping Chen from the Eastern Illinois University Public Policy Institute, who helped bring our guests to town and help organize this event. He has continuously worked to organize events like this and in a thriving democracy. This is one of those important things that a university should foster. So I want to thank him for organizing this event. Also, I want to say there's a number of my students that are here tonight. If you did not see me before the event, please stop and see me afterwards. I understand that you have time constraints, and I see a lot of you. If you don't get to see me, don't worry, I will record your presence tonight, so do not worry about that. And otherwise, just on a personal note, a lot of you have a test on Wednesday, so please don't wait till tomorrow night to study. Okay? Please go ahead and start reviewing the material for the exam. A couple of ground rules before we begin. Each of the speakers will come forward. Each of them will speak for approximately 10 minutes, offering up their personal perspective. I would ask that the audience sort of withhold comments, because when they're done, we will have a microphone available to go around, and people can ask questions and people can offer comments at that time. So we do recognize that the audience is going to want to have some input in the evening, and we will try our best to get to everyone as quickly as possible. One last sort of custodial thing that we should take care of before we begin. The Eastern Illinois University Technology and Science Symposium will be upcoming October 16th through November 7th. It will be a discussion of revolutions in science and technology paradigms. And so this is going to be a very important event. There's going to be a number of public events, much like this forum tonight. And so if you can, and if you have an interest in this area, we would encourage you very much to attend those activities as they're occurring. Again, October 16th through November 7th, 2018. So with that, let us begin our discussion this evening. My name is Kevin Anderson. I'm an Associate Professor of Political Science at Eastern Illinois University. And among the things that I teach, of course, is American government and what I would argue is the greatest of all subfields, which is political philosophy. But part of political philosophy is also understanding very important substantive issues. Whether they be things as simple as what you should eat, what constitutes a proper and healthy diet, all the way through to issues like national security. There are important perspectives that we should debate and discuss before we fully formulate public policy, and that is part of our discussion this evening. So we're going to have 4 guest speakers with us. First, we're going to, and please forgive me, you did tell me how to pronounce your name, but if I get it wrong, I apologize. I'm so terrible at that kind of thing. But we do have Detective Captain Franz Putthum, That close? All right, thank you. Hey, that's a lesson for my students. You don't always get it right, but if you get partial credit, you know, it can help you out in the long run. He will be coming forward to speak. Also, Professor Mikhail Tintler will, Professor, Officer Mikhail Tintler will be here. We have Mr. Hafiz Muhammad who's going to be here to speak to us. And also we have Lieutenant Brad Oyer who will be speaking granting a local perspective on this. So again, I want all of us to welcome and listen attentively to our panelists. And so, Captain, I think you will come forward and speak first. So please welcome Captain.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Franz Glückton. I'm 50 years old and I'm from Munich, the most beautiful city in Germany. From my 50 years of life, I've been 33 years police officer. Since 1999, I'm by the Munich Narcotics Investigation. But first, I went 12 years patrol with and without uniform. And during this long period, there were only 2 shootouts in which I was involved. For me, as a police officer, I'm happy with the strictly weapon law in Germany. And now, I'm grateful to you for the translation. Ich mache jetzt in Deutsch weiter. Yes. Es ist ganz interessant, wenn man die Geschichte des deutschen Waffenrechts betrachtet. Dass das restriktive deutsche Recht eigentlich auch seinen Ursprung in dem militärischen Nachkriegsdeutschland nach 1945 hat.
The restrictions on guns in Germany originate in the period after World War II with the military government led by the United States.
Die Alliierten und vor allen Dingen auch Amerika haben damals ein striktes Waffenverbot in Deutschland erlassen.
The Allies, led by the United States, forbade weapons, forbade Germans from possessing weapons.
Ja. Und aus diesen hat sich das deutsche Waffenrecht, aus diesen Bestimmungen hat sich das deutsche Waffenrecht dann auch entwickelt und ist eines der strengsten Gesetze dieser Art auf der Welt.
From this history, the German laws on guns developed, and they are now among the strictest in the entire world.
Die einzelnen Bestimmungen wird Ihnen Mr. Tendler noch genauer erläutern. Für mich als Polizist ist es ein einfacheres und entspannteres Arbeiten in Deutschland, als es vielleicht die Kollegen in Amerika haben.
He said that, as Mr. Tendler will confirm, his job as a police officer in Germany is a little less tense than the job would be here in the United States because of the restricted gun laws.
Ja. Also, wir haben nicht diese Bestimmungen, dass zum Beispiel bei einer Verkehrskontrolle ich meine Hände aufs Lenkrad legen muss und genau den Anweisungen des Polizisten Folge leisten muss.
They do have the rule about stopping somebody in traffic and making them keep their hands on the steering wheel, following the instructions of the officer.
Wir müssen aufmerksam sein, aber wir haben durchaus eine entspannte Diskussion mit den zu kontrollierenden Leuten.
They have to watch what the person is doing with their hands, but they are not particularly worried that the person may have a gun.
So, in Deutschland, was ich beobachtet habe, ist es in Deutschland auch so, dass Waffen keine Sachen sind, mit denen ein selbstverständlicher Umgang gepflegt wird.
In Germany, it is understood that the way in which they handle guns is accepted, self-evident, self-understood.
Ja. Waffen sind etwas für Polizisten, Soldaten und zum Beispiel Jäger, aber die Allgemeinheit kennt Waffen nur vom Fernsehen.
Most people only know about guns from television. Otherwise, those who carry guns are restricted to policemen, judges,
Jäger.
Hunters.
Soldiers, hunters, yes.
Yes, hunters, policemen, and judges. But otherwise, the general population does not possess guns.
Waffen spielen, also Schusswaffen spielen auch keine große Rolle bei der Kriminalität in Deutschland. Es ist etwas sehr Spektakuläres, wenn bei einer Straftat Schusswaffen eingesetzt werden.
The crimes that are committed in Germany are rarely committed with guns, and so it's considered something very exceptional when a gun crime occurs.
Zum Beispiel hatten wir dieses Jahr erst 3 Morde in München. München hat 1,4 Millionen Einwohner.
Munich has 1.4 million people, and last year there were 3 murders.
Ja. Und alle Morde ohne Schusswaffen.
And they were committed without a gun.
Ja, gibt Messer.
They were committed with a knife.
Und letztes Jahr hatten wir keinen einzigen Mord.
And last year, there was not a single murder committed in Munich.
Trotzdem, ich kann jetzt nicht sagen, ob das Waffenrecht dafür verantwortlich ist oder andere gesellschaftlichen Zusammenhänge.
No, the reason for this low murder rate is because of the restricted gun laws or for other reasons.
Ja. Gut, das war jetzt meine Einleitung. Ich freue mich dann auf Ihre Fragen.
Okay, he has finished with his remarks, and he would like to know if you have questions. Okay, we will wait then for your questions until the other speakers. Let's go on.
Allow me, I apologize, there's one small mistake. Professor Gary Aylesworth from the Philosophy Department is serving tonight as our translator, and I think we should probably give him a special amount of recognition because I believe he is on leave from the university this semester, and so he came in to help us out. And I just want to give him a personal thanks for that. Not, if I were on leave, I'm not certain you could have rounded me up and got me to campus. But thank you so much for being here tonight. We appreciate your effort. Mr. Sentler, please have you come forward to share the remarks.
Yes, my pleasure to be here. And sorry, my accent is very radical and my grammar too, but I hope you understand. So. My part is a little bit different because I'm a graduated pedagogue, but I'm working for the police. But I'm also working as family therapist in Germany, and I'm working with very aggressive young people or with men in the part of home violence. Okay. But also I'm a hunter. I've got a hunting license. And I think this is different to the USA because in Germany we need a reason. We need a good reason to keep a gun, like to hunt. But if you want to be a hunter, then you also have to learn a lot of stuff about biological things, like to prepare an animal and everything which has to do with it. And you have to learn for it and examine, and the state will look and they will prove if you can handle it. And it means that if you are a member of a shooting sport club, then it's allowed to keep or to own a weapon if you're a hunter, or sometimes if you're collecting weapons. But it's always not allowed to keep a weapon with you if you just go into the bar, because they say there's no reason. And I think this is a difference to America, because you have the right to wear a gun, and I think that a lot of people say, yeah, that's our right, and so we want to use the right. But in Germany, I have probably the right to marry other men, but I don't have to. So I mean, it's my decision if I want to use the right or not. So, and what I try to say is that I think we have much less problems, because when I go in a bar and there would be some problems or some struggles, it's out of my mind that anybody could wear a gun, because it's not normal, it's not common. But here, of course, is another situation, I realize. And okay, my part is not to judge or to say something about your decision here in the United States, but my part is as a family therapist that I know that I have a lot of people and they have some problems. And in Germany, of course, we have, I think, 400,000, more than 400,000 legal guns. And with these guns happens a lot of rubbish, like school shooting. We had some school shooting in the last years, and everyone takes place or happens with a legal gun. What I try to say is that, of course, we have a lot of laws, and it's difficult to get a gun. And for example, I think the same here, criminals can't buy a legal gun. But I never know what's going on with the person. I have the person, and the person never did a crime, and this person has a right, but I don't know what will happen with the person in the next year, or what's going on. We have the problem that, of course, it's easier to, for example, to kill your wife if the gun is in your house. So it's much easier because there's a possibility. So I mean, if we have only normal, healthy people with a healthy mind, then it's easy. But if you have people that drink alcohol, use drugs, have other problems, then of course I think it's getting more and more problems if it's easy for these people to handle a gun, to carry it, and to use it. Like if it's easy to buy drugs, then I have a lot of drug users. If it's easy to get a gun, then I have a lot of gun users. Okay, that's my opinion.
The one curse of being short is that you constantly have to readjust the microphone. And in that spirit, I'm going to readjust the microphone again for our next speaker, Mr. Hafiz Muhammad of Chicago, Illinois. Please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Eastern Illinois University, for having me here. My name is Hafiz Muhammad. I'm a longtime resident, community activist, as well as a youth mentor in the city of Chicago. My purpose for being here is to shed some light on the situation that's taking place in Chicago, the excessive gun violence that's taking place there. And I believe that the gun violence that exists in Chicago is very much it's a gun culture, and there's a lot of factors that exist there, and Chicago is very unique into itself. I would like to first start off, I would like to go back about 50 years. The year is 1963. I'm 7 years old. I live on the west side of Chicago in the Henry Horner housing projects. It's Christmas Day. I come down the stairs. There's a beautiful Christmas tree there. My mother and my stepfather's there. Underneath the Christmas tree, there's a set of toy guns with a holster to go with it. Cap guns. I go down, I get my guns, I take my holster. I have the type of a holster that has a little strap that goes around the thigh of your leg. I tie that on. I got my guns. I'm ready. My two brothers that's right above me, they have guns also. So we parade around the apartment with our guns. Later on that day, I go outside onto the porch of the housing project that I live in. There's other boys that's there. They have guns also. We play a lot of childhood games, cowboys and Indians, good guys, bad guys, cops and robbers. A lot of the boys that's playing with guns in the housing projects, later on, they would grow up in life, and those toy guns would turn into real guns. My stepfather and I, we used to have certain bonding time. We would sit on the couch and we would watch movies. And all of the movies that we would watch would be Western movies. There would be Army movies. There would be gangster movies. Any type of